Remember, this is where the first security breach actually took place, because this is the very place that they managed to skip any sort of detection. And then once they entered, there was another level of security check. But there too, remember, they did give a miss. Herein comes the question whether at all there was any insider role, or was it simply a case of a breach which wasn't being detected by the multi-layer security that has been put into place. But all four have something in common, and that happens to be their association and their activities. The fact of the matter is that Neelam, who was nabbed from outside the parliament, was very active in several anti-government protests, starting from the fact that she was present in the farmers' protest, she was present in the wrestlers' protest. Manoranjan, remember, has also been very active in terms of activism that was being carried out in the state of Karnataka. They all come together on a social platform which goes by the name of Bhagat Singh fan page. That's where they connected, and thereafter physical meetings took place. On the 10th of December is when they landed up here in the national capital, all of them coming in from their respective states. In fact, the question that is also being asked is whether at all there was some sort of an additional funding that was being given. Now comes the role of what my colleague Mayuk was pointing out. Who exactly is Lalit Jha? Is he the mastermind? Is he the man who had provided the money, the funding? Because let's not forget the tickets that were actually given to them, starting from Manoranjan to Anmol, who came in from Maharashtra. All of them were basically given the flight tickets. Now, where did the money really come in from? It now appears that there was a fifth character, that is Lalit Jha, who was actually present here. From where I am broadcasting right now, this is the very place that Lalit Jha was present. In fact, from this very place, he had first filmed what was happening outside the parliament. Because remember, this was also part of their planning, because they wanted a live streaming of what was going to happen inside the parliament. And as far as the act outside the parliament is concerned, that was being filmed by the man who goes by the name of Lalit Jha. It is he who had taken all the mobile phones of the four accused, two who had gone inside and two who were outside. And the moment there was a ruckus here, because remember, this is the media area where most of the media channels would have been reporting, because the parliament session has been underway. The moment this news actually broke, you did have Lalit Jha getting in touch with the person that Mayuk was pointing out, the person who runs this NGO network out of West Bengal. Here comes the West Bengal link. Now, to break this down further, let me also bring in my colleague Niranjan, who's joining us from the Kannada newsroom, details of which has been brought in by a number of reporters, part of the Kannada channel, getting us minute by minute update of this Karnataka link that has emerged. In fact, the Delhi police as well as the central intelligence agencies have actually got in touch with Karnataka police for further information. I'm given to understand that a Delhi police special cell team would be leaving for Karnataka very soon, and to carry on the investigation, because they believe that this is just a smoke screen. The fact of the matter is that the intention is yet to be revealed. Niranjan, if I can just bring you in with regards to the role of Manoranjan and the link that has basically emerged.
Shravan, I can tell you one thing, that as far as this character Manoranjan is concerned, now Manoranjan is a resident of Mysuru, he's a student of engineering. So even the principal of that particular college where he passed out, where he graduated from engineering, spoke out. And when you ask about him to people who knew him, who are his neighbors, they have very little idea about this character called Manoranjan. Now let me also tell you, Shravan, since the attack took place, it's a terror plot. And since this terror plot unfolded in the parliament yesterday, last afternoon, a little after 1 p.m., we heard that within 2 to 3 hours, the intelligence agency teams have been camping in Mysuru. They went to Mysuru, where Manoranjan hails from, and they have begun the investigation. And what is very, very strange is that some of what Manoranjan's father said is not really adding up. Now, let me tell you, before that, you asked me a question on what is the role he played and how did he manage to get that pass. I can confirm to you, this is a first-hand account. I spoke to a few people. Manoranjan, along with his father, lobbied or kept persistently following up for a pass to the visitors gallery in Parliament, and we are told that he even conducted a recce in March. So he's been wanting to get a pass for the last few months. He's been following up with Pratap Simha, the parliamentarian's office, and persistently. And what I was told initially is that he wanted a pass on Monday, did not happen, and then he wanted a pass. He wanted a pass, eventually now, and he's got that pass. And when he reached there, he said, "I have another friend with me," which happened to be Sagar Sharma, and that was a last-minute request that he had, asking for a pass for Sagar Sharma. Now, these are some of the details. I have some more details of the breaking news updates of the investigation, Chavan. I'll come back to you for that. I think you have some more updates. I'm handing it back to you for now. We'll keep taking it part by part, Chavan.
Let me also quickly bring in my colleague Mayuk, who's joining us from the Republic Bangla newsroom. Mayuk, in fact, Nilakshay Aicha's father has spoken. He says there is no connection of any NGO. There appears to be a clear contradiction because earlier in the day, my colleague Akhil actually spoke to Nilakshay, and he essentially spilled out the beans. He says that Lalit Jha introduced himself as someone who is based out of Kolkata. So it becomes abundantly clear that while he had a base here in Gurugram, he also had another base in Kolkata. He did not provide any further details about his business dealings. He also does not make a mention of the fact that he has been participating in several other protests. So there is an element of suspicion here. There is an element of mystery, I would say, given the fact that he does not talk about any of his credentials. He does not provide any details in terms of his identity card. In fact, this is a question that was asked whether he was aware of the fact that he originally comes from Gurgaon. Thereafter, the fact that he also has a base in Bihar, all these information was not provided to Nilakshay. So does it really appear that there is something that they are trying to perhaps brush it under the carpet at this point in time?
Well, yes, Shravan, and Republic Bangla has accessed. I will also show it full frame. But right now, I have in my mobile this NOC letter, that the prayer for NOC for a rally letter, permission letter that has been accessed by Republic Bangla. This was written by Lalit Jha, and Lalit Jha's signature is also there in the letter. The letter was written to the Joint Commissioner of Police, Kolkata Police Headquarter Division, and here clearly this letter was written in a letterhead of Shammobadi Subhash Sabha, that is the Socialist Subhash Sabha, the name of the NGO or the organization. The address of the organization is Hali Sahar in North 24 Parganas. The name of the people who own this NGO is Lalit Jha, whose residence address here is 218 Rabindra Sarani, Kolkata 7, where Republic Bangla the reporters went and they doorstepped, and clearly the doors are locked, and neighbors said that yes, that's the residence of Lalit Jha. He used to stay here, but right now they have no idea where he is. And on the other hand, another partner in this entire thing is Nil Aich, that is Nilakshan Ait, Nilakko Aich in Bengali, and his address is Niloy Hardware, Nanna Hospital Road, Halishahar, West Bengal 743135. So this is the residence. Actually, our reporters went there and found that this is the residence of Niloy Aich, his father, and most importantly, his father clearly denied that this man or Lalit Jha had any NGO. However, Republic Network had confronted Nilakshi Aich, and there he said that yes, he was in touch with Lalit Jha. So clearly, this NGO angle that is coming in, the NGO run disruption that is emerging, it's basically the epicenter of this entire the Lalit and Nilaksha Aich angle is centered around Kolkata. And most importantly, this man used to collect money from several other people, many prominent people. A prominent Netaji historian has confessed in front of camera, in front of Republic Bangla's camera, that yes, this Lalit Jha and Nil Aich used to crowdfund. They used to arrange crowdfunds in the name of Netaji, and most importantly, they used to conduct several programs saying that there will be a seminar on freedom fighters, there will be a seminar on the revolutionaries. So basically they used to collect money, but where those monies used to go, none of them had any idea. We also approached Neil's friends in Bidhannagar College, that's the Salt Lake College, Salt Lake area, and there also they have said that yes, he was in touch with Lalit Jha. This Lalit Jha was a dubious man. No one had seen this Lalit Jha roaming around, but everywhere his instructions were there. WhatsApp communications with Neil or his friends were there, and he was into something which is very dubious and very suspicious. Shravan. And he was into something.
Well, thank you very much, Mayuk, for getting us the latest details. We'll try and see if we can also go across to our senior executive editor, Abhishek Kapoor, who's joining us from the national capital in the studios. Abhishek, you've also been tracking this investigation very closely. We've been able to piece together the planning, the execution. The part which still remains a bigger mystery is whether at all there is someone who is behind it, because let's not forget that this could not have been possible without adequate funding. And let's also not forget the fact that perhaps there could be an insider role too, given the fact that multiple layers of security have actually been breached. Is it actually possible that without some sort of help, or for that matter, the kind of recce that was done? I was given to understand, Abhishek, this morning that the recce that actually happened during the budget session, and there are also another attempt that was being made by Sagar was in the month of July. So there are two attempts that have been made for recce that was done, and that is when they realized that the shoes were not being checked, and that is the reason why the plastic canisters actually entered through. What more can you help us understand in terms of the execution part? Actually entered through. What more can you help us understand in terms of the execution part?
Very important that you ask this, Shravan, because remember, this cannot happen unless there is a core coordinating between these this ragtag bunch of otherwise misguided youth. But it seems it's dangerous because, Shravan, you know, an e-rickshaw driver in Lucknow, an activist in Jind, an engineer in Mysuru, and a jobless individual not having any specific business in Gurugram, and an activist from Karnataka, I beg your pardon, Bengal, and someone who has, who's not even sharing his exact details. So, for example, remember what Nilakko Aich said, that they did not give an ID card to Lalit Jha because he couldn't furnish proper details about where he stays, whether he has an Aadhaar card or a PAN card, and so they did not give him an ID card. So there is a lot of dark area which the investigation agencies are trying to unravel, and I have myself spoken to top sources. And remember, Shravan, you know better, the agencies work assuming the worst. Now there are hand grenades available which come with material that can, you know, that can hoodwink the metal detectors. For example, hand grenades made of carbon composites, for example. So the agencies are working, believing that this could have been bad, this could have been worse. And that is the reason why there is intense backward integration happening in terms of how these people went about this and where were the loopholes. And their phone calls, their call data records, etc. Everything is being investigated. In fact, there are already some leads, Shravan. It's just that at this stage they are not to be shared because those backward linkages of these individuals need to be fixed, pinned, and all those people who were perhaps behind them coordinating, if there were handlers, they need to be, brought into the investigation. That's the reason. And remember, do not forget that Gurupatwant Singh Pannu, the designated terrorist insofar as India is concerned, had been talking about something big happening in Parliament on 13th of December for at least a month before this episode has happened. So agencies are not leaving anything to chance. They have everything under their purview. A lot of leads have already come in, as I mentioned. We are not mentioning exactly which direction they are going. There is a component of urban Naxals and all that is going to be there, about which we are going to hear as the investigation unravels and the interrogation give them more idea to the agencies about what exactly brought these people from seemingly unconnected backgrounds together.
Well, Abhishek, just since you were essentially talking about what could have actually happened, because this morning when I spoke to someone who served in the SPG, and several of them who actually come during the parliament session, because remember there are certain restrictions also for our viewers to understand. Even if you have Z-level security for some of the politicians, remember they are all outside. So our parliamentarians who are actually inside, they are part of what they call the ward and watch. So it's largely, a group which is responsible for the security inside. Now, even the SPG officer that I spoke to, he says that, this comes across as a huge surprise, because even when they have to enter, or, some of the top level officials who actually have to enter, even from the security agencies, there is already a pass that is actually prepared for them earlier on. And even they have to go through a proper physical frisking. The fact of the matter is that the physical frisking perhaps may not have been done in the manner it should have been, but the metal detectors right now also seem to be a little outdated, given the fact that there are several items that a metal detector cannot perhaps detect, because that is one of the reasons why, if you realize that in most cases abroad too, in terms of technology, you do have to take out your shoes even if there is a small strip of metal that is then after put through a scanner. And that's how the scanning is actually done. Now, that kind of a facility is actually not provided here. In fact, there has been a large, a bigger debate that actually took place in terms of who exactly should be responsible for the security of the parliament. A parliament security group, PSG, which was, largely debated soon after the attack that took place back in 2001. That was actually in the limbo. In terms of the paramilitary, remember the Delhi police is basically only, responsible for the outer cordon. It is not actually for inside. And for those who are inside, who are part of the ward and watch, they are also handpicked, but largely those who have been, they've had a long service, but may have not been agile enough to respond to new methods. Now, that is exactly what is being debated. Now, perhaps, Abhishek, you can help me understand. I did actually manage to speak to some of them, and this is what I'm just sharing with our viewers right now. After speaking to some of those who have gone inside, especially those who have been part of the agencies and who've had regular meetings inside inside the parliament, especially during the session when they are actually called in by the respective departments. Now, as far as the security of the parliament is concerned, remember, it comes under the joint secretary. They are responsible for the security of it. So if heads have to roll, remember, this is going to be for someone from within, from inside the parliament too, if I'm not wrong, Abhishek.
Well, Shravan, just because you mentioned Joint Secretary Security, that one post is actually lying vacant for the last month and a half, because the incumbent was repatriated to his parent cadre, the UP Uttar Pradesh Police, and since then it is essentially being, taken care of by a director level officer. But that does not really take away from the protocols and the drill is set, and everyone follows the protocols and the instructions that are in place. But this is more like a tech issue, because remember, the kind of metal detectors that are in place in the new parliament building, like in the old parliament building, they are not capable of detecting this kind of a plastic smoke canister that was carried under the shoes. That can only happen with a full body scanner. But unfortunate part is that at the design stage itself, at the planning stage itself, the lapse has happened. This is the design fault, remember, because the security, when the security of the new building was being designed, this aspect should have been taken care of. So I think we have seen, when covering Parliament, all these 5 layers of security before which you reach the viewers gallery. There is a hazmat unit which stands. Hazmat is the hazardous materials detection unit, CBRN unit as it is called, which stands outside the parliament gate in case of there is CBRN is chemical, biological, reactive and nuclear material unit which stands outside the parliament. I mean, the provisions are there, but then in this case, this is a design fault specific to metal detectors. I think there was perhaps some lack of oversight because of which this has happened. It would be plugged, obviously, but then this episode really brings under focus what all should have been done was not there and would be done at the soonest. But of course, the investigation as of now on unraveling the conspiracy aspect about which I was mentioning, Shravan, that there is a clear possibility that some anti-national forces outside collaborated with the urban Naxal element inside and then executed this. All right, let's go to Mayuk, I am told. Shravan, just hold on to a bit because Mayuk has more information. We'll go to the next part of the investigation to Mayuk. Mayuk, over to you.
Well, yes, Abhishek, we are going to reveal the other parts of this investigation, the 11-part investigation done by Republic Network. The detailed investigation and the Republic mega exclusive visuals and details will be coming back. We'll be giving more details shortly. Just a quick break and we are coming back.
हमारे देश को आजाद हुए 76 साल हो गए, लेकिन कई चीजों में हमको अभी आजादी नहीं मिली, जैसे कि सरकारी दफ्तरों में दुश्वारियां, परेशानियां, बदइंतजामियां। हमारे शहीदों को इस बात की कतई चिंता नहीं थी कि देश को आजादी मिलेगी या ना, लेकिन उनको एक बात की चिंता थी कि आजादी के बाद देश कौन से हाथों में जाएगा, देश के हालात क्या होंगे। हमने आजादी की जंग इसलिए लड़ी थी ताकि हमारी आने वाली पीढ़ियों की जिंदगी आसान हो सके, ना कि इसलिए कि वो जगह जगह पर सरकारी दफ्तरों में धक्के खाएं, परेशानियों का सामना करना पड़े। अगर जंग सबने इकट्ठे होकर लड़ी थी आजादी की, तो फिर सुख सहूलतें भी सबको इकट्ठी मिलनी चाहिए। हम तो शहीदों के पांव की मिट्टी के एक धूल के तिनके के बराबर भी नहीं है, लेकिन ये बसंती रंग की पग शहीदों के सपनों और इरादों की हमें याद दिलाती रहती है कि हमारे देश में आम लोगों के सिर्फ दिन रात नहीं, हालात बदलने चाहिए। चुनाव के समय हम लोगों के पास जा सकते हैं, तो चुनाव के बाद सरकार बनती है, तो सरकार बनने के बाद भी सरकारों को जनता के पास जाना चाहिए, ना कि जनता सरकारी दफ्तरों में खज्जल खुआर हो। यही आजादी के असली मायने हैं। शहीद आजम सरदार भगत सिंह जी के सपनों को साकार करने के लिए पंजाब सरकार ने फैसला किया है कि पंजाब के लोगों को अब सरकारी दफ्तरों के चक्कर नहीं लगाने पड़ेंगे, बल्कि सरकारी दफ्तर खुद चल के लोगों के घर पर आएंगे।
अब सरकारी दफ्तरों के चक्कर काटने की जरूरत नहीं, बस डायल करें 1076 और सरकारी सुविधाएं अपने घर पर ही पाएं। पंजाब की भगवंत मान सरकार आपके द्वार।
Experience a new Verilux progressive lens designed with artificial intelligence so it can predict your natural eye movement. Verilux XR series for instantly sharp vision in motion and seamless transitions from near to far. Verilux by Essilor.
मोदी सरकार की गारंटी, हर गरीब का मुफ्त इलाज। 55 करोड़ लोगों को दी हर साल 5 लाख रुपए तक के मुफ्त इलाज की निश्चिंतता। हमारा संकल्प विकसित भारत।
लेकिन हमने तो एकदम सॉलिड टीएमटी बार लगाया है।
मतलब रुंगटा स्टील टीएमटी बार, जंग से न माने हार और मजबूती बेशुमार। रुंगटा स्टील टीएमटी बार है बिल्कुल रेडी।
प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी के एक भारत श्रेष्ठ भारत के विजन को दर्शाता भारत का पहला इंडिया आर्ट आर्किटेक्चर एंड डिजाइन बिनाले 2023, जहां होगा रचनात्मक और कलात्मक निपुणता का अनूठा संगम। 9 से 15 दिसंबर सुबह 10 से शाम 5 बजे लाल किला दिल्ली में रोजाना एक यूनिक थीम भारत की समृद्ध कला को उजागर करेगी। इंटरैक्टिव पैनल डिस्कशंस, पब्लिक आर्ट इंस्टॉलेशंस और वर्कशॉप्स। आइए समृद्ध भारतीय कला का हिस्सा बने। एंट्री फ्री। संस्कृति मंत्रालय, भारत सरकार।
Well, right now what we are getting in from the Republic Bangla newsroom is that Nilaksha Aich, Nilakho Aich, associate of Lalit Jha, is Bengal police and Bengal police officers. They entered his house, questioned. Investigate this matter right. We, Republic, investigate this matter right. We, Republic.
All right, I think there seems to be some audio issue there with Mayuk in our Bangla newsroom. We'll connect with him in a bit, and Shravan and Niranjan continue to be with us. Niranjan, can I go to Niranjan, Aditi? And okay, there is a phono. There is a phono we have. Okay, there is a phone in which is recorded by our correspondent Akhil, and this is I believe with Raki's. No, this is okay. This is with the founder of the NGO. Yeah, this is with the founder of the NGO. His name is Mr. Aich. Let's listen to what Akhil has spoken to him.
सभा से एक ललित झा हैं, वो भी जुड़े हुए हैं, उनको जानते हैं क्या आप?
हाँ, वो हम लोग का मेंबर थे, मतलब हम लोग का ऑर्गेनाइजेशन का मेंबर थे।
क्या सेक्रेटरी हैं, क्या है?
हाँ,
सेक्रेटरी हैं क्या? साम्यवादी में सेक्रेटरी हैं क्या?
हाँ, वो हम लोग का ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में सेक्रेटरी के पोस्ट में कुछ महीने थे।
हाँ, तो वो क्या मतलब कहाँ, बिहार से हैं वो, कहाँ से हैं?
उन्होंने बोला था वो कोलकाता में रहते हैं, पर और कुछ नहीं बोला। उन्होंने बोला था वो कोलकाता में कहीं पे रहते हैं, वो पर मतलब प्रॉपर्ली कहाँ पे, कौन सी जगह पे, वो नहीं बोले थे।
नहीं, लेकिन वो तो बिहार के रहने वाले हैं, मतलब ऐसा तो हमने सुना कि वो बिहार के रहने वाले हैं।
उन्होंने हमको बोला था वो कोलकाता में रहते हैं, और हमारे साथ उनका परिचय भी कोलकाता में ही हुआ।
अच्छा, आप उनसे पर्सनली मिले हैं क्या?
हाँ, मैंने उनके साथ अप्रैल के एक इवेंट में सेंट्रल एवेन्यू, कोलकाता के सेंट्रल एवेन्यू इंडियन एसोसिएशन हॉल में एक इवेंट हुआ था, वहाँ पे मिले।
अच्छा, वो किस टाइप के हैं, मतलब वो मतलब एक्टिविस्ट हैं, क्या करते हैं वो, किस तरह का काम करते हैं वो?
उन्होंने बोला था वो सोशल वर्कर है, वो सोशल वर्क करते हैं, बहुत सारे एनजीओ के साथ वो है, ज्वाइंट है। हाँ, तो बस यही बोले थे, कुछ मतलब क्या जॉब करते हैं एंड ऑल, वो सब कभी नहीं बोले।
अच्छा, तो ये जो साम्यवादी है सुभाष सभा है, इसका क्या फंडिंग किधर से होता है, कौन करता है फंड आप लोग को, कैसे करते हैं?
मतलब हम लोग का जो मंथली हम जो पॉकेट मनी एंड ऑल, हम लोग कॉलेज स्टूडेंट है, तो हम लोग का जो पॉकेट मनी एंड ऑल मिलता है, वहाँ से 150 ऐसे करके जुड़ के चलाते हैं।
नहीं, तो ललित झा को अगर सेक्रेटरी बना रखा है आप लोगों ने, और जैसे मैं उस पर देख रहा था इंस्टाग्राम पे, आपके पेज पे लिखा हुआ है साफ कि ललित झा जो है वो सेक्रेटरी हैं आपके ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के, है ना? तो वो किस तरीके से, मतलब उनको पैसा वैसा कैसे देते हैं आप लोग? पेमेंट तो करते होंगे ना, उनकी पेमेंट कैसे जाती है?
नहीं, हम लोग का तो कोई भी पोस्ट बियरर कोई भी पेमेंट नहीं लेते हैं। कम्प्लीटली सोशल वर्क रिगार्डिंग है, तो मतलब कम्प्लीटली कोई भी पोस्ट बियरर को कोई पेमेंट नहीं दिया जाता है।
अच्छा। तो ये जो आपकी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है वो मतलब रजिस्टर्ड कहाँ पे है?
रजिस्ट्रेशन प्रोसीड्योर इस दिसंबर में ऑनगोइंग था। अब जो हम लोग का लॉयर थे, उनका कुछ घर में कुछ पर्सनल डेथ हुआ किसी का, इसीलिए वो थोड़ा पोस्टपोन हुआ है।
तो अभी तक रजिस्ट्रेशन भी नहीं हुआ एनजीओ का, ये कह रहे हैं आप?
नहीं, वो ऑनगोइंग था।
अच्छा भाई, ये चीज़ बताइए कि जो ललित झा हैं, उनका जो नाम है वो आ गया उसमें, सिक्योरिटी ब्रीच में, पार्लियामेंट में सिक्योरिटी ब्रीच हुआ है उसमें आ गया है ना? तो आप कह रहे हैं कि आप उनको जानते हैं?
हाँ, मैं उनको देखा हूँ, परिचय हुआ है, जानता हूँ।
हाँ, आप उनसे मिल भी चुके हैं, तो क्या वो उस तरह के वायलेंट आदमी है? क्या किया उन्होंने, मतलब इस तरह
उनको देखते हुए मतलब वैसा कुछ भनक तो हमें लगा नहीं, मतलब हम उनको ऐसा पर्सनल, मतलब बहुत अच्छा कुछ फ्रेंडशिप तो उनसे था नहीं। पर्सनली तो वैसे हम जानते नहीं थे उतना कुछ लिख के। हाँ, तो वैसा कुछ सच बोले तो बता नहीं पाएंगे हम।
अच्छा, उसमें आप ललित झा के अलावा किसको जानते हैं? क्योंकि देखिए 6 लोग जो हैं वो पार्लियामेंट में जो सिक्योरिटी ब्रीच है उसमें शामिल हैं, है ना? तो ललित झा के अलावा आप किसी और को जानते हैं उसमें से?
नहीं, मैं उनको ही वो वेस्ट बंगाल में मतलब कोलकाता से थे, तो उनके साथ आमने सामने परिचय हुआ था, उसके माध्यम ही जानते थे।
तो इसको सागर शर्मा को, नीलम आजाद भी जुड़ी हुई है उस सिक्योरिटी ब्रीच में, अमोल शिंदे,
इनका नाम कभी सुना नहीं है।
अच्छा, तो ये जो है ललित झा है, वो क्या कहते थे आप लोगों से? मतलब कुछ प्रोवोकेटिव स्टेटमेंट देते थे, कुछ बोलते थे क्रांतिकारी टाइप का?
वो बस मतलब हम लोग का जो सोशल वर्क वगैरह रहता था उनमें पार्टिसिपेट करते थे, ऐसा कुछ मतलब प्रोवोकेटिव एंड ऑल कुछ करा नहीं कभी।
अच्छा,
मतलब हम लोग का तो वैसा कुछ मुद्दा तो है नहीं, तो उन्होंने भी कभी वैसा कुछ किया नहीं है।
All right, so this is Nilakko Aich. He's Kolkata based. He's the head of the organization of which Lalit Jha happens to be a secretary. Now, if you heard viewers, it's clear that he does not know anything. The antecedents of Lalit Jha are not known. He does not know originally from where he hails. He is not sure about other details which connect Lalit Jha with any social service activity or cause or antecedents. And that takes you into a gray area. And let's try to understand from Mayuk. He's there in Kolkata and with our Bangla newsroom. Mayuk, I was hearing to this phone in, and this person he says he's a student. They don't have any particular pattern of funding. Sometimes they get some crowdsourced funds, and that's how they manage their organization. But if you look at the manner in which this whole episode has been executed, they have been flying in, flying out, doing recce's, spending money, doing research, getting those plastic canisters, smoke canisters. It is about money, it is about coordination, it is about financing, it is about conspiracy. It can't be done with crowdsourced university student funds. So obviously there is something which is amiss here.
Who are the main investors, who are the main funders of this Nilakko or Lalit Jha? Because Republic Bangla went to the home of Nilakko Aich, and clearly we have seen it's a very middle class family. Nilakko Aich is a student, and a student's getting so much money. He himself claims that he runs an NGO where 200, 300 people are there, and most importantly, how do they get money to run this NGO, to organize such programs? On the other hand, Lalit Jha, we have also shown the viewers the home of Lalit Jha. It's a lower middle class family. Lalit Jha, how did he manage to coordinate this entire thing? Who is behind this thing? And clearly, Abhishek, there is certainly an urban Naxal angle, because time and again, Shubhendu Adhikari, the opposition leader of Bengal, today also he has said that this is clearly happening because of the Tukre gang, the urban Naxals, the gangs which actually wants Bengal to be cut off from the rest of India. And again, Shubhendu Adhikari has raised questions regarding the way Mamata Banerjee government is actually handling the entire law and order situation in Bengal. How do these elements time and again get a chance to operate from Bengal? This is what Shubhendu Adhikari has said. And how do the students, this clearly brainwashed students, they get this exposure to get in touch with either a Jamaat, either the urban Naxals, either the Maoists. We have seen the Maoist connection during the time in the ragging episode in Jadavpur University. Before that, in Nandigram also, we have seen how students were brainwashed by Maoists when there was this Nandigram protest. So time and again, why these elements who are anti-India, who want to break the nation, are getting so much active in Bengal? This is what the opposition BJP and specifically Shubhendu Adhikari has to say. Abhishek.
Absolutely. It can't be without that. In fact, our sources tell us, Mayuk, that that's the direction in which all this is moving. There has to be a handler who coordinated on behalf of some anti-India forces, and agencies would obviously unravel that plot. On that note, we slip into a short break, and on the other side, we come back to this story. All right, after a short break, we come back with more exclusive details on this Parliament attack episode that happened yesterday.
Of India launched the Pradhan Mantri Ujjwala Yojana in 2016. It's a revolutionary and one-of-its-kind scheme that aims to provide free LPG connections to households living below the poverty line.
साथियों, ये काम सिर्फ कनेक्शन देने भर तक सीमित नहीं था। इसके लिए और भी व्यापक प्रबंध किए गए, होलिस्टिक तरीके से काम किया गया। एक बहुत बड़ा इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर इसके लिए जरूरी था, जिसको बहुत ही कम समय में तैयार किया गया।
सिलेंडर से ये फायदा, धुआं नहीं होता, समय पे काम हो जाता है, और कहीं जाना होता है तो वहाँ भी चले जाते हैं हम। कुछ काम करना होता है, मेहनत मजदूरी वो भी कर लेते हैं हम। सब काम हमें समय पे हो जाते हैं, दिक्कत नहीं होती हमें अब आने जाने की कहीं भी।
Experience a new Verilux progressive lens designed with artificial intelligence so it can predict your natural eye movement. Verilux XR series for instantly sharp vision in motion and seamless transitions from near to far. Verilux by Essilor.
मोदी सरकार की गारंटी, हर घर पहुंचेगा नल से जल। अब तक 13.5 करोड़ से अधिक नल कनेक्शन। हमारा संकल्प विकसित भारत।
भारत के नव निर्माण के शिल्पकार हमारे कामगार अब किसी भी परिस्थिति में नहीं है अकेले। हर कदम पर साथ खड़ी है डबल इंजन की सरकार। माननीय मुख्यमंत्री योगी आदित्यनाथ की अभिनव पहल विश्वकर्मा श्रम सम्मान योजना हर श्रम साधक को काम और सम्मान दिलाने में निभा रही है उपयोगी भूमिका। शहरी एवं ग्रामीण क्षेत्रों में विभिन्न पारंपरिक कार्यों को चिन्हित कर कारीगरों को मिला निःशुल्क प्रशिक्षण, उन्नत किस्म का टूल किट। प्रशिक्षण अवधि में कारीगरों के परिवार की जीविका प्रभावित न हो, इसके लिए की गई मानदेय की व्यवस्था। विभिन्न बैंकों के माध्यम से कामगारों को उपलब्ध कराया जा रहा है बिना गारंटी लोन। कामगारों के सम्मान के साथ ही ओडीओपी और एमएसएमई को बढ़ावा देकर रोजगार सृजन में उपयोगी भूमिका निभा रही है विश्वकर्मा श्रम सम्मान योजना। श्रमिकों का सम्मान, हुनर को नई पहचान।
We continue with our detailed coverage of the Parliament attack story. We bring to you many aspects of the investigation, as also the antecedents of these individuals who carried out this mischief yesterday. And in line with that, we also have an interview with Nilakko Aich. He is the founder of the NGO, of which Lalit Jha, as of now seen as the key person connecting, or the linchpin, so to say, of this group of individuals. Lalit Jha was the secretary of this NGO. Listen to what Nilakko Aich has to say about his own secretary.
আমার সাথে এই ব্যক্তি ললিত ঝা বলে যিনি রয়েছেন, এর সাথে আমার পরিচয় হয় এপ্রিল মাস নাগাদ, এবং ওনার সাথে আমার পরিচয়টা হয় হচ্ছে একটা ইভেন্টে। আমি একটা ইভেন্টে গেছিলাম সেন্ট্রাল অ্যাভিনিউয়ে, ভারত সভা হল, ইন্ডিয়ান অ্যাসোসিয়েশন হলে। সেখানে আমি ওনাকে দেখি, উনি মানে হেল্প আউট করছিলেন, ইভেন্টটা অর্গানাইজ করতে হেল্প আউট করছিলেন। তো সেইখান থেকে আমার সাথে ওনার পরিচয় হয়, এবং আমি ওনাকে যখন বলেছিলাম, যেহেতু দেখছিলাম এরকম অ্যাক্টিভলি কর্মঠ ভাবে উনি পুরো সেমিনারটা অর্গানাইজ করছেন, আমি সেইটা দেখে ওনাকে অ্যাপ্রোচ করেছিলাম আমাদের অর্গানাইজেশনে আসার জন্য। তো সেইভাবে ওনার সাথে আমার পরিচয় হয়। আমাকে একটা ভিডিও পাঠিয়েছিল, উনি আমাকে মেসেজ করেছিলেন যে এই ভিডিওটা রাখতে এবং এটার মিডিয়া কভারেজ দেখতে। পরে আর কথা শেয়ার করিনি, কারণ আমি তখন রাস্তায় ছিলাম এবং আমার সাথে ভিডিওটা দেখার মতনও টাইম ছিল না পুরোটা। আমি ফার্স্ট 1-2 সেকেন্ড দেখেছিলাম এবং কি বিষয়বস্তু আমি সম্পূর্ণ দেখতে পাইনি। আমি আমার সাথে এই ব্যক্তি।
All right, so whatever I could get from this interview of Nilakko Aich. He's essentially washing his hands of Lalit Jha. He seems to be suggesting that even when Lalit Jha was working with them, the details about his antecedents, where he came from, etc., were sketchy. The exact conversation would be translated by Mayuk. But let's listen in to the English conversation that Nilakko Aich had with our reporter Akil Jamil.
वादी सुभाष सभा से एक ललित झा हैं, वो भी जुड़े हुए हैं। उनको जानते हैं क्या आप?
हाँ, वो हम लोग का मेंबर थे, मतलब हम लोग का ऑर्गेनाइजेशन का मेंबर थे।
क्या सेक्रेटरी हैं क्या है?
हाँ,
सेक्रेटरी हैं क्या? साम्यवादी में सेक्रेटरी हैं क्या?
हाँ, वो हम लोग का ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में सेक्रेटरी के पोस्ट में कुछ महीने थे।
हाँ, तो वो क्या मतलब कहाँ, बिहार से हैं वो? कहाँ से हैं?
उन्होंने बोला था वो कोलकाता में रहते हैं, पर और कुछ नहीं बोला। उन्होंने बोला था वो कोलकाता में कहीं पे रहते हैं, वो मतलब प्रॉपरली कहाँ पे, कौन सी जगह पे, वो नहीं बोले थे।
नहीं, लेकिन वो तो बिहार के रहने वाले हैं, मतलब ऐसा तो हमें सुना कि वो बिहार के रहने वाले हैं।
उन्होंने हमको बोला था वो कोलकाता में रहते हैं, और हमारे साथ उनका परिचय भी कोलकाता में ही हुआ।
अच्छा, आप उनसे पर्सनली मिले हैं क्या?
हाँ, मैंने उनके साथ अप्रैल के एक इवेंट में सेंट्रल एवेन्यू, कोलकाता के सेंट्रल एवेन्यू इंडियन एसोसिएशन हॉल में एक इवेंट हुआ था, वहाँ पे मिले।
अच्छा, वो किस टाइप के हैं, मतलब वो मतलब एक्टिविस्ट हैं, क्या करते हैं वो, किस तरह का काम करते हैं वो?
उन्होंने बोला था वो सोशल वर्कर है, वो सोशल वर्क करते हैं, बहुत सारे एनजीओ के साथ वो है, ज्वाइंट है। हाँ, तो बस यही बोले थे, कुछ मतलब क्या जॉब करते हैं एंड ऑल, वो सब सभी नहीं बोले। मतलब
अच्छा, तो ये जो साम्यवादी है सुभाष सभा है, इसका क्या फंडिंग किधर से होता है? कौन करता है फंड आप लोग को, कैसे करते हैं?
मतलब हम लोग का जो मंथली हम जो पॉकेट मनी एंड ऑल, हम लोग कॉलेज स्टूडेंट है, तो हम लोग का जो पॉकेट मनी एंड ऑल मिलता है, 5 से 150 ऐसे करके जुड़ के चलाते हैं।
नहीं, तो ललित झा को अगर सेक्रेटरी बना रखा है आप लोगों ने, और जैसे मैं इस पे देख रहा था, इंस्टाग्राम पे आपके पेज पे लिखा हुआ है साफ कि ललित झा जो है वो सेक्रेटरी हैं आपके ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के, है ना? तो वो किस तरीके से, मतलब उनको पैसा कैसे देते हैं आप लोग? पेमेंट तो करते होंगे ना उनकी पेमेंट कैसे जाती है?
हम लोग का तो कोई भी पोस्ट बियरर कोई भी पेमेंट नहीं लेते हैं। कम्प्लीटली सोशल वर्क रिगार्डिंग है, तो मतलब कम्प्लीटली कोई भी पोस्ट बियरर को कोई पेमेंट नहीं दिया जाता है।
अच्छा। तो ये जो आपकी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है वो मतलब रजिस्टर्ड कहाँ पे है?
रजिस्ट्रेशन प्रोसीड्योर इस दिसंबर में ऑनगोइंग था। अब जो हम लोग का लॉयर थे, उनका कुछ घर में कुछ पर्सनल डेथ हुआ किसी का, इसीलिए वो थोड़ा पोस्टपोन हुआ है।
तो अभी तक रजिस्ट्रेशन भी नहीं हुआ एनजीओ का, ये कह रहे हैं आप?
नहीं, वो ऑनगोइंग था।
अच्छा भाई, ये चीज़ बताइए कि जो ललित झा हैं उनका जो नाम है वो आ गया उसमें सिक्योरिटी ब्रीच में, पार्लियामेंट में सिक्योरिटी ब्रीच हुआ है उसमें आ गया है ना? तो आप कह रहे हैं कि आप उनको जानते हैं?
हाँ, मैं उनको देखा हूँ, परिचय हुआ है, जानता हूँ।
हाँ, आप उनसे मिल भी चुके हैं। तो क्या वो उस तरह के वायलेंट आदमी है? क्या किया उन्होंने, मतलब इस तरह
उनको देखते हुए मतलब वैसा कुछ भनक तो हमें लगा नहीं। मतलब हम उनको ऐसा पर्सनल, मतलब बहुत अच्छा कुछ फ्रेंडशिप तो उनसे था नहीं। पर्सनली तो वैसे हम जानते नहीं थे उतना कुछ भी। हाँ, तो वैसा कुछ सच बोले तो बता नहीं पाएंगे।
अच्छा, उसमें आप ललित झा के अलावा किसको जानते हैं? क्योंकि देखिए 6 लोग जो हैं वो पार्लियामेंट में जो सिक्योरिटी ब्रीच है उसमें शामिल हैं, है ना? तो ललित झा के अलावा आप किसी और को जानते हैं उसमें से?
नहीं, मैं उनको ही, वो वेस्ट बंगाल में मतलब कलकत्ता से थे, तो उनके साथ आमने सामने परिचय हुआ था, उसके माध्यम ही जानते थे।
इसको सागर शर्मा को, नीलम आजाद भी जुड़ी हुई है उस सिक्योरिटी ब्रीच में, अमोल शिंदे,
इनका नाम कभी सुना नहीं है।
अच्छा, तो ये जो है ललित झा है वो क्या कहते थे आप लोगों से? मतलब कुछ प्रोवोकेटिव स्टेटमेंट देते थे, कुछ बोलते थे क्रांतिकारी टाइप का?
वो बस मतलब हम लोग का जो सोशल वर्क वगैरह रहता था उनमें पार्टिसिपेट करते थे, ऐसा कुछ मतलब प्रोवोकेटिव एंड ऑल कुछ करा नहीं कभी।
अच्छा,
मतलब हम लोग का तो वैसा कुछ मुद्दा तो है नहीं, तो उन्होंने भी कभी वैसा कुछ किया नहीं है।
All right, the founder of the NGO of which Lalit Jha, the linchpin of this group of individuals who carried out this parliament mischief yesterday, seems to be distancing himself now. Lalit Jha, of course, on the run. Agencies hot on his chase. There are leads on connections of these individuals with some inimical anti-India forces the investigation would unravel soon. We are taking a short break, but we continue with our rolling coverage of exclusive element of this investigation on the other side.
हमारे देश को आजाद हुए 76 साल हो गए, लेकिन कई चीजों में हमको अभी आजादी नहीं मिली। जैसे कि सरकारी दफ्तरों में दुश्वारियां, परेशानियां, बदइंतजामियां। हमारे शहीदों को इस बात की कतई चिंता नहीं थी कि देश को आजादी मिलेगी या ना, लेकिन उनको एक बात की चिंता थी कि आजादी के बाद देश कौन से हाथों में जाएगा, देश के हालात क्या होंगे। हमने आजादी की जंग इसलिए लड़ी थी ताकि हमारी आने वाली पीढ़ियों की जिंदगी आसान हो सके, ना कि इसलिए कि वो जगह जगह पर सरकारी दफ्तरों में धक्के खाएं, परेशानियों का सामना करना पड़े। अगर जंग सबने इकट्ठे होकर लड़ी थी आजादी की, तो फिर सुख सहूलतें भी सबको इकट्ठी मिलनी चाहिए। हम तो शहीदों के पांव की मिट्टी के एक धूल के तिनके के बराबर भी नहीं है, लेकिन ये बसंती रंग की पग शहीदों के सपनों और इरादों की हमें याद दिलाती रहती है कि हमारे देश में आम लोगों के सिर्फ दिन रात नहीं, हालात बदलने चाहिए। चुनाव के समय हम लोगों के पास जा सकते हैं, तो चुनाव के बाद सरकार बनती है, तो सरकार बनने के बाद भी सरकारों को जनता के पास जाना चाहिए, ना कि जनता सरकारी दफ्तरों में खज्जल खुआर हो। यही आजादी के असली मायने हैं। शहीद आजम सरदार भगत सिंह जी के सपनों को साकार करने के लिए पंजाब सरकार ने फैसला किया है कि पंजाब के लोगों को अब सरकारी दफ्तरों के चक्कर नहीं लगाने पड़ेंगे, बल्कि सरकारी दफ्तर खुद चल के लोगों के घर पर आएंगे।
अब सरकारी दफ्तरों के चक्कर काटने की जरूरत नहीं, बस डायल करें 1076 और सरकारी सुविधाएं अपने घर पर ही पाएं। पंजाब की भगवंत मान सरकार आपके द्वार।
कैंट से पानी होता है 100% प्योर।
कैंट आरओ प्योरिटी दिखाता भी है।
कैंट देता है सबसे शुद्ध पानी।
In a journey that defines our dynamic future, Bharat embarks on a mission of shaping a new and determined nation. Witness a journey towards development where turning dreams into reality is not just a possibility but a certainty. Join us on Bharat 2050, where unwavering commitment and self-reliance meet economically brilliant tomorrow.
समय पर एडवांस टैक्स भरना है जरूरी, क्योंकि इससे होती है विकसित भारत के निर्माण की जरूरत पूरी।
विकसित देश का लक्ष्य हासिल करने के लिए हर भारतीय का योगदान अत्यंत महत्वपूर्ण है।
आपका एडवांस टैक्स देश के बुनियादी ढांचे को मजबूत बनाने, शिक्षा, सामाजिक योजनाएं व देश की सुरक्षा और स्पेस कार्यक्रम जैसे महत्वपूर्ण कार्यों को अंजाम देने में काम आता है।
तो फिर अपनी एडवांस टैक्स की जिम्मेदारी समय पर पूरी करें।
याद रखिए, वित्तीय वर्ष 2023-24 के लिए 75% टोटल पेएबल एडवांस टैक्स का भुगतान 15 दिसंबर 2023 तक किया जाना चाहिए।
कंपनीज, कॉर्पोरेट्स या फिर सैलरीड एम्प्लॉइज जिनकी टीडीएस या टीसीएस कटने के बाद भी कर देयता 10,000 रुपए या उससे अधिक है, तो फिर एडवांस टैक्स देना आवश्यक है। प्रत्येक आयकर दाता एक राष्ट्र निर्माता।
Sir, is there a wedding? No. So, what is all the celebration for? Tuesday. Mangalwar.
Those who are financially secure enjoy a happier life. So keep growing your happiness. Keep investing. Bandhan Mutual Fund. बढ़ते रहो. Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme-related documents carefully.
मोदी सरकार की गारंटी, सस्ती दवाई, अच्छी दवाई, कम से कम 75% डिस्काउंट। अब तक जरूरतमंदों के 23,000 करोड़ रुपए बचे। हमारा संकल्प विकसित भारत।
In India, it will take you average 42 months. It will take you 18 months in China. We have to be the innovators. Are we doing that enough?
I did a paper about 18 months ago about the patent system, and we found a lot of process problems. But one of the major things we found is that this is one area where we don't actually have enough people. We have 800 examiners and controllers in our patent office. The Chinese have 13,000. Okay, so I raised this issue. Let me say that we are currently in the process of increasing that number from 800 to 3,000 in the first phase. And the first 500 of those people have already been hired. They are being trained as we speak.
How do you expect us to be innovative when you don't invest in R&D in our universities, when you don't have capital to back people? We need money.
Presented by Adani. Co-presented by SRM Institute of Science and Technology.
Driven by New Sonic, the Wild Reborn.
State partner Assam Government.
Special partner Rungta Steel, TMT Bar, एकदम solid.
This house, having taken a serious note of the ignoble misconduct of Sri Derek O'Brien, member who has entered the well of the house, as also the inner well, and has been continuously shouting slogans, gesticulating aggressively at the chair, thereby disrupting proceedings of the house in utter disregard to the authority of the chair, and having been named by the chair, resolves that the above mentioned member, Sri Derek O'Brien, be suspended from the service of the council for the remainder of the session under Rule 256. Those in favor will please say aye. Those against will please say no. I think the ayes have it. The ayes have it. The motion is adopted. Sri Derek O'Brien, member, is suspended for the remaining part of this session.
Of India launched the Pradhan Mantri Ujjwala Yojana in 2016. It's a revolutionary and one-of-its-kind scheme that aims to provide free LPG connections to households living below the poverty line.
साथियों, ये काम सिर्फ कनेक्शन देने भर तक सीमित नहीं था. इसके लिए और भी व्यापक प्रबंध किए गए, होलिस्टिक तरीके से काम किया गया. एक बहुत बड़ा इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर इसके लिए जरूरी था, जिसको बहुत ही कम समय में तैयार किया गया.
सिलेंडर से ये फायदा, धुआं नहीं होता, समय पे काम हो जाता है, और कहीं जाना होता है तो वहाँ भी चले जाते हैं हम. कुछ काम करना होता है, मेहनत मजदूरी वो भी कर लेते हैं हम. सब काम हमें समय पे हो जाते हैं, दिक्कत नहीं होती हमें अब आने जाने की कहीं भी.
आंध्रा की वर्मा फैमिली को गरम भाजी पसंद है. आगरा की वर्मा फैमिली को धर्म भाजी पसंद है. फैमिलीज जितनी भी सेम लगे, होती अलग है. इसलिए नया वीमैक्स पोस्टपेड जो दे हर फैमिली को उनकी पसंद की चॉइसेस, जैसे इजी डाइनर, डिज्नी प्लस हॉटस्टार एंड मोर. वीमैक्स पोस्टपेड, चूज व्हाट यू वांट टू यूज.
हमारे देश को आजाद हुए 76 साल हो गए, लेकिन कई चीजों में हमको अभी आजादी नहीं मिली. जैसे कि सरकारी दफ्तरों में दुश्वारियां, परेशानियां, बदइंतजामियां. हमारे शहीदों को इस बात की कतई चिंता नहीं थी कि देश को आजादी मिलेगी या ना, लेकिन उनको एक बात की चिंता थी कि आजादी के बाद देश कौन से हाथों में जाएगा, देश के हालात क्या होंगे. हमने आजादी की जंग इसलिए लड़ी थी ताकि हमारी आने वाली पीढ़ियों की जिंदगी आसान हो सके. ना कि इसलिए कि वो जगह जगह पर सरकारी दफ्तरों में धक्के खाएं, परेशानियों का सामना करना पड़े। अगर जंग सबने इकट्ठे होकर लड़ी थी आजादी की, तो फिर सुख सहूलतें भी सबको इकट्ठी मिलनी चाहिए। हम तो शहीदों के पांव की मिट्टी के एक धूल के तिनके के बराबर भी नहीं है, लेकिन ये बसंती रंग की पग शहीदों के सपनों और इरादों की हमें याद दिलाती रहती है कि हमारे देश में आम लोगों के सिर्फ दिन रात नहीं, हालात बदलने चाहिए। चुनाव के समय हम लोगों के पास जा सकते हैं, तो चुनाव के बाद सरकार बनती है, तो सरकार बनने के बाद भी सरकारों को जनता के पास जाना चाहिए, ना कि जनता सरकारी दफ्तरों में खज्जल खुआर हो। यही आजादी के असली मायने हैं। शहीद आजम सरदार भगत सिंह जी के सपनों को साकार करने के लिए पंजाब सरकार ने फैसला किया है कि पंजाब के लोगों को अब सरकारी दफ्तरों के चक्कर नहीं लगाने पड़ेंगे, बल्कि सरकारी दफ्तर खुद चल के लोगों के घर पर आएंगे।
अब सरकारी दफ्तरों के चक्कर काटने की जरूरत नहीं, बस डायल करें 1076 और सरकारी सुविधाएं अपने घर पर ही पाएं। पंजाब की भगवंत मान सरकार आपके द्वार।
In a journey that defines our dynamic future, Bharat embarks on a mission of shaping a new and determined nation. Witness a journey towards development where turning dreams into reality is not just a possibility but a certainty. Join us on Bharat 2050, where unwavering commitment and self-reliance meet economically brilliant tomorrow.
Smaller towns, having people, that independence, financial independence, what are the sort of efforts that you're putting in at Axis Bank?
The wealth in India, defined as people with, let's say, wealth of over 2 crores and above, is expected to grow 5-fold by 2032. The expectation is that a large part of that wealth will be created in the rural markets. So all of us are going and spending a lot of time in some of those markets. Just because you asked about Axis Bank, a couple of years back, we actually went and publicly announced to the market that one of the important areas which we want to build as a bank is an area of distinctiveness. We want to be known in the market for being different.
Whether the India Inc. animal spirit is back?
Absolutely. And from an auto perspective, I can tell you that we have a very bullish view of the Indian auto industry, both because the motorization of India has actually just started. We are at around 30 per thousand population in terms of motorization, and it's expected to go up drastically.
The last few years, the optimism when it comes to capital deployment, looking into the future, not let's say the next few quarters, next few months, it's about how can India play a significantly larger global role in the consumer space, specifically with respect to our fund. And so absolutely yes, animal spirits are back. Can they be better? My sense is yes, they can be even better.
Exclusive with me, Shavin said. We're coming to you live from outside the Parliament in the national capital. A day after the Parliament security breach tonight, we get you full details of the investigation that has been carried out. We get you details of who exactly is the mastermind. What are the links that are emerging right now? It's a multi-state agency probe that is being carried out. Not one, but multiple agencies into it. Tonight, we'll take you through full details of all the accused. Where did they really come from? Who was really behind it? And what's the NGO link? The terror plot is now out in the open. A network investigation that we're going to bring to you tonight on This Is Exclusive. But up first, these are the headlines we're tracking for you at this hour. A day after the biggest security compromise at Parliament, Republic pieces together the terror plot behind. Republic investigation reveals terror plot was hatched for over 9 months across 11 locations in 6 states. Mastermind tracked in West Bengal. Republic Bangla exposes NGO angle to Parliament attack. Republic Canada gets the timeline of events accused Manoranjan was lobbying for the past few weeks. Mega face-off in Parliament over security compromise. Opposition demands discussion. Prime Minister chairs high-level security meet over security breach. Top ministers present. Starting the initiative with the first big breaking news now coming in. Who is the mastermind of the Parliament security breach? Ladies and gentlemen, it turns out a man who goes by the name of Lalit Jha, based out of Gurugram. In fact, it is he who hosted the 4 other accused, 2 who were nabbed from the very location where we are broadcasting right now from, and the other who happens to be Manorajan and Sagar. All of them actually met Lalit Jha. Who exactly is this man? How exactly is he associated with an NGO which has now been tracked to the state of West Bengal? In a short while from now, we're also going to play out that reaction coming in from Lalit Jha's partner, who's based out of West Bengal. In fact, it turns out that Lalit Jha was actually staying in Kolkata for about 3 years put together. It was in a rented apartment in Bada Bazaar in Kolkata where Lalit Jha was actually staying. My colleague Akil also spoke to his NGO partner who has revealed the entire plot. He says that soon after the ruckus that took place at this very location from where we are broadcasting right now, 2 of them, Neelam and Anmol, who were nabbed from this very location behind me. Lalit Jha, the mastermind, was present. In fact, from this very place where we are currently broadcasting, Lalit Jha was using his mobile phone and filming the ruckus that took place exactly at this particular location. What happens next? Ladies and gentlemen, he sends that video to his NGO partner who's based out of West Bengal. He says, take a look at this particular video safe Rakhna. That WhatsApp conversation has also been accessed by Republic TV. We'll put out those details in a short while from now. Let's try and bring in my colleague Akil, who's going to join us on this broadcast, give you the full details of one, his conversation with the NGO partner, and second, the details that are coming in about his stay in Kolkata. Akil, you spoke to his NGO partner. What is it that is emerging from the investigation so far? Is his NGO partner also under the scanner? And also the WhatsApps that have been accessed by Republic TV, in which it goes on to indicate that Lalit Jha was actually in touch with his NGO partner based out of West Bengal.
Well, Shravan, yes, absolutely. We have been tracking Lalit's kith and kin, and what we have been told by the family members, and we have tried to trace his family members also. But the first thing we have got is the NGO with which Lalit was associated. So there was a West Bengal-based NGO with which Lalit was associated, and we spoke to the founder of that NGO, and Nilaksh is the name of the founder of that NGO, and he said to me in an exclusive interview that Lalit has been associated with him for 3 years, and he has been constantly in touch with him, and both of them met basically in Kolkata itself at an event, and since then they have started working together. And after that, the NGO owner has asserted him to join his firm, and then Lalit onboarded on that NGO. And after that, then they started working together. And initially, Lalit have not been offered any position, and then after that, Lalit was made the secretary of that organization. And when we inquired about the registration process, the NGO founder, the owner of that that NGO, has said that we haven't got registered. When we again repeated the question and we tried to inquire again and again, then he said कि हमारे NGO का जो एडवोकेट था जिसके थ्रू हमें रजिस्ट्रेशन कराना था, उसके घर में कोई डेथ हो गई जिस वजह से हम उसका रजिस्ट्रेशन नहीं करा सके. So he kept on dodging that question about the registration process and the funding process, because we also inquired about the funding, from where basically he was getting all those funds to run his organization. And then he kept on dodging it that no, we just work on the social front. We just try to educate tribal kids who haven't got access to good education. And when we inquired about the nature, the dynamics of the organization, then he said that we have been just trying to bring out the legacy of Subhash Chandra Bose, and we have been just following his legacy, and we tried to bring more activism. And when we try to catch him through different lenses, through different fronts, when I inquired about him joining his NGO, he said, no, you can't join our NGO because we just work on the activism. When I inquired about him that I'm a very keen observer and I want to join your NGO as an intern, then he said, no, we just work on the activism front. So if you want to do some activism work, then only you are welcome to join on that front. Yes, Shravan.
Okay. Thank you very much, Akhil, for getting us the latest details. In fact, let's also play out that conversation that my colleague Akhil had with the NGO partner of Lalit Jha, Nilakshay Aich, who's based out of Kolkata, in fact, in West Bengal. And his father says